feeling at home.
Cool. Yeah, yesterday was nice. We made the Via Ferrata before the thunderstorm. That was really cool. And yeah, after it was a little bit sketchy, I think, with thunderstorms to fly down. So we decided to hike down. I think that was the better solution.
Managed to land before the thunderstorm.
Goal for today would be to try to tag the Murano 2000 turn point in Siena.
Hello and good evening. It's day 2 of Red Bull X-Alps and I'm at a very windy spot about 35 kilometers west of Murano, where Christian Schug has literally just arrived. He tried to land here just moments ago, and many of the athletes now, the lead gaggle here, are in this valley. Very much a story of that gaggle coming through Murano, and we're going to talk about that coming up with Gavin McClurg, who is in Siena at the moment. But earlier in the day, what was super exciting was still in my mind the events of yesterday, when this monster storm barreled through the Dolomites, and we were there. This wind is really quite strong, still very strong. But that storm of yesterday came through, it absolutely wreaked carnage across the fleet of competitors. I was there to try and catch up and do the Via Ferrata, and you could feel the thunder in the air. It was really something, and you could tell that many of the athletes were extremely concerned. The race safety director was also extremely concerned. But we're going to play a little bit of a snippet from that day yesterday. So enjoy. So I've just arrived almost at the foot of the Toblingen-Notten Via Ferrata. We've legged it here. I'm told that the first gaggle of athletes has gone through. There was some suggestion of closing it down. It's been reopened. Occasionally we hear the odd rumble of thunder, and we can see just in the distance some athletes hiking up. Let's try and join them. So I just arrived at the base of the Via Ferrata, and Tongi is getting ready. Can you give us a quick update? How are you feeling? How's the day going?
Good. We pushed a lot during this hike up because we was late, but now we are almost with all, so it's cool. And we will try to push still more. And, yeah.
And you know what position you're in?
I don't know. We will count tonight.
And we've got Jürgen here. Jürgen, there's some rumbling and thunder. I mean, the skies look very, very angry.
Yeah,
it's okay for them to go up?
Yeah, there's this thunderstorm coming in exactly in our direction, and I guess it's here in 30 minutes, and the guys will be faster, so it's okay for them to go, but maybe not for the following. I don't know yet.
And what happens? What are the rules? Does an athlete just have to wait until the storm has passed?
Yes, of course, because when he is on the Via Ferrata, when there is a thunderstorm going on, then he's grilled.
So they would never bypass this turn point. They would never say, okay, just carry on. They have to get the turn point via the Via Ferrata.
This would be a problem at the moment because there are already about, I guess, 10 athletes on the Via Ferrata, so it would be unfair to skip it for the other ones who have been slower.
Jürgen, thanks.
Welcome, Taki.
And there is the view. If Jürgen has to close the Via Ferrata, teams coming up behind, they will have to wait this out. They can't just divert it. They've got to tag this turn point, and these teams might just get away. Here we are, got Aaron, Lars, Yannick Glatar, supporter, and Tobias. And look, it looks very cozy in there. Is it nice and warm?
Well, we are waiting. I mean, we are super happy. I mean, at least me, I'm super happy to be here. For sure, it would have been better if the thunderstorm arrived 1 hour later, but it's like it is. And now I think we have good chance to fly down, so probably soon we will start to move towards the Via Ferrata back. We did it already, so we just need to fly down now.
Start again.
Okay.
Ow! It's coming down, Jacqueline! What we do for this race, I love it! Ow, that really hurts!
That was a pretty wild moment, wasn't it, Gavin? Pretty wild. Tell us about it.
Well,
what was going through your
It
mind?
was just such a silly situation up there. Mostly what was going through my mind was that I'm glad I'm not racing, but the other thing was that I just had to do something in that storm. And, you know, we're media guys. We got to get content, right? And I stood out in that hail and went, you know what? Actually, this hurts. But it just reminded me of my favorite line in one of my favorite movies with Chevy Chase, where, you know, I don't think the heavy stuff's coming down for quite some time. It was pounding.
It does do funny things to you, storms. It's like, you know, like horses that go wild when the wind gets up. I mean, I started singing when I was running down the mountain, and everyone started looking at me like I was a complete and utter lunatic.
I mean, storms are great, right? And it reminded me of my time on sailboats, and, you know, that buzz in the air, and everybody's hair standing up, and everybody's shivering in the cold, and yeah, let's go do something ridiculous.
So look, we should really talk about today's events, and my day began watching Christian Schug, Germany 4, leave this morning at 5:30, and really it's kind of been his day today. He was locked in a duel for much of this morning with Aaron Duragatti. There's a really strong breeze coming through, and you know, clearly Aaron was trying to be the first to his hometown of Murano, and Christian just wasn't going to let him. So that was a really exciting battle that was played out this morning. And for those of you who may have been watching on 3D live tracking, yes, we are aware that we've had a massive technical issue. There's been a bug in the system, and one of the unfortunate aspects of that bug has been that Christian's his track wasn't playing. So we apologize for that. The whole team have pulled night passes, and we are on the case with that. And just to say, it's nothing to do with the Navita devices. So the Gavin,
Well,
what have you seen today?
What I saw was just remarkable performances by so many athletes. You know, when Celine Lorenz came into the Tres Cime, you know, everybody knew there was this North Fern, conditions were going to be really spicy. And I asked her, hey, what's your strategy today? And what about the North Fern? And she said, oh, I'm used to North Fern. It's no big deal. I fly in this stuff all the time in the Dolomites. And she just launched like a boss. And that was the story of the day for many people. I mean, it was a tough day. It was not recreational flying whatsoever. The winds were really strong, especially when you were exposed to the North Passes around Brunico. and down here in Murano, of course. And yet we saw a lot of athletes. Remy Bordel, Patrick Von Cannell had a ripper today. You know, he didn't get up the Via Ferrata last night, so he had to stay up there with all the people who didn't escape last night. And we thought there'd be a huge separation, and look at now, he's right there in the top 10, and he's right behind the lead pack. So we saw some amazing flying in really, really difficult, challenging, pretty spicy conditions. So it was hard to keep up, even on the ground. People made some great moves, and others. Aaron Durigati came in here first, you know, waving the flag in his hometown. And you know, we have a saying in the World Cup that it's never the hometown hero that wins, because they're kind of locked into what they know. And you asked him when we were up in the hailstorm, you know, is it a big confidence boost for you going into your hometown? And he said, yeah, you know, if it's going to be spicy, tough conditions, then I'd rather do it in a place where I really know. But look what happened. He got here first, and he chose the wrong launch, and some other people really read the weather better. And they got a big move on him. So my heart goes out to him tonight, but he's Aaron, he's the Italian stallion. He'll charge back. He's incredibly strong. And so it was a fascinating day of racing. It was really, really magnificent.
It's something it is something we see in Red Bull X-Alps a lot, like Kriegel Maurer in the last edition, racing to get to Frutigen first. It's something of a thing. Marcus Anders as well, when we had a turn point in southern Germany. And I'm literally being blown by the wind here. It's really strong. The other really interesting, I think, story today is that of Gabe, as he's sometimes also called, Jansen, the Brazilian athlete. Now, normally in this race, athletes from the rest of the world don't perform well. It's normally always the Alpine athletes who excel, and he's having an absolute storming race. And what's more, he's just always got a smile. I was running down from the launch, and he actually stopped to high-five me. I mean, normally athletes have just got their heads down, very serious face. You might, if you're lucky, get a grumbling, you know, hello, or I'm fine, or, you know, a couple of words. But he just seems to be having a ball.
Dark horse. You know, when I was pulling into Murano and pulled up the live tracking, I just went, wait, what? What just happened? I mean, on a day like today in the Alps, strong North Fern, strong conditions, and he just had a ripper. I mean, if we look at the top five, at least the last time I checked, you know, we've got 3 Swiss in the top 5 that are all within a stone's throw of one another. You Kriegel and Sepp, sorry, and oh, I'm losing my mind right now. We've got Kriegel, Sepp, Integer, and who am I thinking of? Oh, Nicola, and then we've got Gabe.
Heinecke, not Sepp Heinecke. He was an athlete. He was an athlete last time.
Sorry.
Come on, Gavin.
It's been a lot of driving today, but you know, but we've got 3 of them, and they all live right there in Frutigen, basically. And then we've got Gabe from Brazil in the flatlands. You know, it's just remarkable. He has had a heck of a day.
He has. I think every athlete who has had a heck of a day today, as you said at the beginning, it has not been an easy day for them. Talking of the weather, Gavin, what's your prediction? I'm hearing that it's going to get a lot better tomorrow, and it's interestingly for the race, which again we don't often see, is that it's looking like it's better for those at the back of the pack, and potentially they could close the gap with the lead
you know,
gaggle.
I just checked the weather just a few minutes before we went live, and it looks really good tomorrow. All this wind goes away, high base. I don't see the OD potential nearly as bad. And it's even better. It's good for the leaders, but it's even better for those in back, which we never see in this race. That's happened a handful of times. And so really, it's been an incredibly exciting 2 days, just unbelievable. I feel like we've already been through 12 days of this race. So it's been a really exciting 2 days. And I think the racing is just gonna get pretty far out tomorrow. It's gonna be really exciting.
That's going to be good news for Seabrand Warren, who is at the back of the pack at the moment. He'll be looking to put in a really big performance tomorrow to avoid that first elimination that happens on Wednesday. Now, talking of eliminations, we're sad to report that Maxime Pinot has decided to withdraw from the race. He's asked for privacy. He doesn't want to give any interviews about that, so we all respect that and hope that in some time in the not too distant future we can talk to him about that. He's an incredible athlete, and when you talk to anyone here, they say by almost universal opinion he's really one of the best paragliding pilots out there. So Maxime, if you're watching, we're sorry to see you go, and we hope to see you again soon. And that really brings us to a close here for this live broadcast. Thanks for watching. We'll be live again in the morning, and we'll see you then. Thanks and good night.